These are the greatest Daredevil stories ever told. And I'll start with A Man Without Fear. Frank Miller, John Romita Jr. This is the origin story of The Man Without Fear told through the eyes of Frank Miller. It's gritty, it's heartfelt, it's John Romita's just fabulous art that I never grow tired of. It's both intimate and action-packed. And look at these double pages. In this origin here, a young Matt Murdock is the son of a failed boxer, a man who beats him and hits him, a dad who was wrong, and then a dad who doesn't end up throwing a fight like he should and is killed. And Matt Murdock on his way home from school then ends up colliding with this truck that's full of these chemicals that make him go blind, but then enhance his other senses. He undergoes this Batman-esque training where he learns weapons in the city. He becomes a lawyer by day to solve the problems of crime and struggle in Hell's Kitchen, and he's vigilante by night. It is the perfect response to this era in New York. Number 2, Born Again. I loved this one. It tears out your heart. Frank Miller is back. He's with Mazzucchelli, his incredible partner for Batman Year One. I absolutely love what Mazzucchelli does. They recently made a TV series set in this world. And this is Matt Murdock as the Daredevil later in the story. This is the origins. This is later in the story. And the Kingpin has figured out who he is, his identity, and decides to break him down and destroy him. He was in love with a woman who ran off with a man. She became addicted to drugs, ultimately sold out Daredevil's secrets, and that's what got the Kingpin onto him. And he systematically destroys Daredevil's life. And he has nothing left but to go and to confront the Kingpin, who beats him to a bloody pulp. We leave Frank Miller for number 3, and we go to Daredevil Yellow, which teams up Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale, perhaps the greatest duo in DC Comics. This story is amazing. You know, the Daredevil becomes a yellow painted man in this yellow and red costume. I always loved it the very most. And this, at the heart of it, is a love story. It's Daredevil's love story with Karen Page. And like all things Daredevil, it has a tragic end. It's a beautiful tale of a man who is trying to solve the impossible problems of New York and Hell's Kitchen and crimes that simply cannot be corrected while he's in love with this woman. This one has sat in my heart perhaps the most of all of those, as it kind of makes you ache at the end of it. It takes us to our final Daredevil story, Daredevil End of Days. Bendis and Jansen deliver a story which is the harrowing sort of end of this legacy, which I think was set forward by Miller and Loeb and has now come to a crashing, sad ending. Daredevil has left Hell's Kitchen, and then he's come back for one final fight here where he's ultimately killed. He kills the Kingpin. He does it publicly. Jansen's art is just something else altogether. It is gritty and textured and lonely. He's lost the love of his life. He's lost the city. He's lost the public respect. He's ultimately lost his life. But then what happens after Daredevil? Is this really the end? Does someone else take up the mantle? The Punisher becomes involved with this. And this answers sort of this quadrilogy. I see it as what happens after Daredevil is ultimately doomed. He's born again. He's destroyed by losing the love of his life. And now he's come to the end of his life. It comes to a crashing epic close, and then is born again in this miraculous way with like Camelot and King Arthur, where Camelot can never die because the story can live on. Daredevil can never die because the story can always live on.